So hey guys, I am one of the participants in Goldfinch Flight Academy program. Today I will be talking about analyzing financial statements. There are three types of financial statement. One is income statement, second is balance sheet, and the third one is cash flow statement. We will look into each one of them one by one. So let's start with income statement. Income statement. While looking for an income statement of a company, we look for these three things. We will visit all of these three things and we will quantify them. Quantify in a sense we will formulate some matrices. So let's say we want to know whether the company is consistent and is sustainable. What I mean by this, let's say today is 2021, right? And this is our company which we will be inspecting, company A. So I want to know whether this company will sustain in 2031 or not. So I want to invest something. I want to invest in a company which will sustain over years. I don't want to invest in anything like which exists today and tomorrow there is no trace of it. I don't want that, right? So it should be consistent and sustainable. Second is we want to look at scalability. We want to look at the past data and we want to find out how scalable, how much the company has scaled. So it all business have started, all business starts small, right? And they grow over years. So we want to see how the company have scaled over years. Is it scaling or not? Is it able to meet the demand or not? Third, we want to know, we will look into the competitive advantage. We will look into a company and we will look into its competitor and we will compare them and we will find out which one is better. So let's jump into the first point, which is consistency and sustainability. To see consistency and sustainability, we majorly look at net income. If the net income is increasing over the years, we it is safe to say that the company is sustainable. If you compare this income with something else, let's say it was 100 and then it got decreased to 80 and then it got decreased to 40, this would be a red flag for us. Why a red flag? Because we can clearly see that the company profit net income was in the year 2018 was 100 and then it decreased to 80 and then it decreased to 40. This is not good because if this trend continue to exist, this company might get into loss very soon, right? So we want to look, uh, we want to invest in a company whose net income is increasing over a time period, right, over years. So it is safe to say this company has existed and is still increasing in terms of net income, right? So it will sustain in upcoming years also. Now let's look at scalability. To measure scalability, a good metric is to define gross margin. Gross margin is defined as net financial income divided by financial revenue. All of this data we can get from the income sheet, and usually a gross margin greater than 40% is considered good. So let's take an example. If you see, here we have financial revenue. This is our income statement and we have financial revenue here and we have net financial income here. So we will calculate gross margin percentage, and if you look at it, the gross margin percentage was 60, was 85, was 82. If the gross margin percentage is greater than 40, we consider this company is scaling good. Why so? Because whatever it is, the revenue it is generating, right? The revenue it is generating and its expenses, whatever, because the company, as the company will scale, not only its revenue will increase, but its expenses might also increase, right? So we want to make sure that the revenue is increasing much faster than its expenses. So that will only happen when we will have the net financial income increasing. So we divide the net financial income by financial revenue and we calculate the percentage, and we check if it is increasing each year or decreasing. If it is decreasing, that would mean that for a X amount of financial revenue, the financial income, the net financial income is getting lesser each year. So that would be a red flag. Not exactly a red flag, but that would not be that could not be considered as good as this scenario right here. It is increasing each year. This would means for a X amount of financial revenue, the financial income is increasing each year. So this means the company is able to scale well. Cool. Let's visit competitive advantage. How do we calculate competitive advantage? It's quite easy. So we calculate matrix again. This time we call it net margin. Net margin is defined by net income divided by financial revenue. And anything greater than 20% we consider it good. Okay. So let's see an example. So here is our financial revenue and this is our net income. Notice that net financial income is here, and net income is basically this net financial income minus the operating expenses. So what we do is, to calculate net margin, we divide net income by financial revenue. Net income is here. This income is after subtracting all the operating revenue, and then we divide it by the financial revenue. The percentage that we get, if it is greater than 20%, these numbers are relative. Okay, don't make all those judgment based on these numbers. These numbers are relative, and usually in a general case I look for a percentage greater than 20, but it could differ on the each case, right? So don't go for 20% always, because each case, each company will be different. So if you see 25%, 45%, 39%, these numbers are greater than 20%. This means the greater the number, and you can calculate the same number for his another company. Let's say this company is X. You can calculate the same matrix for company Y, and you can compare this number. Okay, so how you may ask, like, how this gives us a competitive advantage? So consider a company A, consider company B. The gross margin that we calculated before. Remember, gross margin didn't account for the operating cost. It didn't account for the operating cost. Net margin is the net income divided by the financial revenue. Net income is the financial income minus operating cost. So let's say company A has less gross margin. Okay, let's say the gross margin for company A was 40%, but the company B has more gross margin. Let's say its gross margin was 50%. So how do we consider which one is better? Do we invest in B and not look at A? No, we calculate net margin. Net margin accounts for the operating cost, and let's say its net margin was 30%, and company B's net margin was 20%. This would mean, even though it is generating more net financial income, it is spending a lot in its operating cost, right? This is the reason its net margin is lower than the company A. So in this case, the company A gives a competitive advantage over company B. So these are the, again, I just told you three metrics. This is not all, but these are the three among of quite a few things that I look at. So these are the three matrices, right? Okay, let's go to summary. So what we learned, we basically look at net income and see whether the net income is increasing over years or not. Cool. We look at the gross margin and we check whether the gross margin is greater than 40% or not. Then we look at the net margin, which also accounts for the operating cost expenses, and we look whether this is greater than 20 or not. Also, we can compare this with another company X, and we can say whether this company is better or the company X is better. Cool. Let's now go to balance sheet. What do I look in balance sheet? Again, three matrices: retained earning, ROI, ROE, sorry, return on equity, and check long-term liabilities. So let's jump to retained earning now. So increase or decrease based on whether, so retained earning increases or decreases based on whether or not the company has reinvested its income. So if the company has reinvested its income into itself, let's say it earned a whole big bag of money and it reinvested half of it in the company itself again, then its retained earning will increase. Okay. Why do we want to look at it? Because for obvious reason we want to make sure that the company is making a positive stream of income and is reinvesting in itself. If if you are not reinvesting, you will be at this level only, right? You have to put efforts daily, you have to put investment daily again into yourself, then only you can rise. See, same scenario we will follow here. An example would be, we can find this matrix in the balance sheet. So in the balance sheet, you can check for retained earning. For this example, retained earning seems to be increasing every year. So we can say this company has been reinvesting its income again. Let's look at ROE now, return on equity. Return on equity tell us how efficiently the company has been reinvesting their investment. How efficiently? Okay, so how do we calculate it? We calculate it, ROE is equal to net income divided by total equity. Let's go to this example. In the balance sheet, you can only find total equity. Net income is again from the income sheet, right? We have this from the income sheet. We take total equity from the balance sheet. We take net income from the income sheet, and we calculate ROE, which is 21% here, then 50% here, and 65% in the last year. So, judging by this number, we can say its ROE is increasing per year, so it might be a good investment. Last is check for liabilities. We usually check for long term liabilities. So, long term debt is bad. If you see, a company has paid most of its debt in its starting years, like 1 to 4 years, then this company is considered good for investment because it has paid most of its long term debt. Short term debt, we don't bother about it. Short term, so basically there is a scenario where there is like a division. You can divide asset into current and non current. Current is basically you can whatever you hold for 1 year only. Same is for liabilities. You can divide it for into current and non-current. Current is which is liable for only 1 year, and you will get rid of it. Long-term liabilities is bad. So long-term liabilities, we want to make sure that the company has paid off after their business has taken off and they are making profit. They should be able to pay off their long-term debt in the starting 1 to 4 years only. So if you see something like this, that company would be good. For example, Apple had paid off its debt in like 0.22 years, not even a 1 year. Okay. Okay. So let's look at the summary for balance sheet. So we look at retained earning, right? We look how much the company is reinvesting in itself per year, and then we look for ROE. This ROE percentage tell us the how efficient is the reinvestment. Let's say you reinvested, but it didn't take off, right? if it didn't take off, this ROE percentage wouldn't be increased. So that reinvestment just went for a waste. So we want to see whether the reinvestment was efficient or not. That we look at retained earnings and we check for reinvestment. We found that reinvestment was done, then we check for whether these reinvestment were efficient or not. Okay, and then lastly we check for any long term debt. Long term debt is really bad. Short term debt less than a year or year is not that bad. Let's now jump to our last financial statement, which is cash flow statement. Now let's have a look at cash flow statement. What does cash flow statement tell us? It actually gives an idea about the ins and out of the money flow. So how the money flows across the company, whatever what in what form it goes into the company and in what form it comes out of the company. Okay, let's see what do we look while judging a cash flow statement. We look for a positive cash flow and we calculate a ratio of operating cash flow divided by financial revenue. Let's look at positive cash flow. So in the cash flow statement, there is a field net change in cash. So we can check this field and we can make sure that each year the cash flow is positive. So this is fine. It was 1.2 million here, 1.3 million here, and 5 million here. So we want to invest in a company which has a positive cash flow. Okay, now let's look at this ratio. We have talked about like cash flow statement gives us an idea of actual ins and out of the money. Now let's look at this ratio. Why do we calculate this ratio? This is operating cash flow divided by financial revenue. It is important to monitor how the cash flow increases with increase in sales and revenue. So we want to know, let's say in a financial year there was a financial revenue of $100 and it got increased to $200 the next year. We want to monitor how the operating cash flow has increased with increase in the revenue. So this ratio is important to monitor how the cash flow increases with increase in the sales and revenue. Let's see how to calculate it. So here is the total cash flow from operation, and we get the financial revenue from which sheet? Do you remember? It is the income sheet. So we get the financial revenue from the income sheet and total cash flow from the cash flow statement, and we calculate this ratio, total cash flow from operation divided by financial revenue. There is no fixed percentage threshold here. The higher the percentage, the better, right? So we want to calculate this ratio to monitor how the change in the how the increase in the financial revenue or sales have affected the cash flow of the operations. Ideally speaking, it should be there should be a similar increase. So let's say there is an increase in the financial revenue, there should be a similar increase in the cash flow of operations. So let's do a summary for cash flow statement. In cash flow statement, we look for the net positive cash flow, and we look at this ratio which tell us uh, which help us in monitoring the increase in the cash flow operation with increase in the financial revenue. Okay, that is it for today. Thank you.